now. Right where I'm standing, some man lost his life. He was bludgeoned to death with an axe, hatchet, something, and no one was ever punished for that. And that will continue to haunt us for as long as we look at the case files, look at the evidence, and say, man, it must have been Lizzie, wasn't it? Or at the very least, she knew about it or arranged it, something. And I think that lends itself to the haunted reputation that so many people experience today. I've been in there. One of the few times I've actually had a ghostly experience, I was in there. This was at least, good God, 15 years ago, something like that. 14 years ago, and they were shut down for a week for some minor renovations, and we were in there doing a live radio show broadcast from like 10 to midnight, and it was just 4 of us in the whole building, and we were down in the basement at like 11 o'clock at night, and suddenly we hear these 2 scampering footsteps run from the side door into the kitchen, right above our heads, right at the top of the stairs. And we all look at each other like, oh no, like kids from Fall River just broke in. We got to get up there. And we were up those stairs in 5-6 seconds, racing up there, ready to grab those kids, manhandle them out, call the police, whatever we had to do, because the owner was kind enough to let us be in there, for the night. It was our responsibility. We didn't want anything bad to happen. And we get up there and we look around, and there's nobody there. And you go to the door and you check the door and you're like, yeah, it's locked like we left it. And we all looked at each other saying, well, we all heard the same thing. We all reacted the same way. Something just ran on those stairs and we could never figure out what it was. It's a crazy, great place.
That's awesome. And I'm glad you got that in there, because we were going to ask you to share a paranormal experience.
There you go. That for me, it's a lot of times it's not so. I'm the first one. When something weird happens, I want to figure it out. I want to debunk it. That's my first instinct every time. Like a door slams. Well, okay, is there wind moving through the building? Is there something that, you open a door on one side, it creates a vacuum that pulls the door shut on the other, things like that. And I usually can figure it out. But once in a while, I can't. And those are the moments you live for. I've been in the Lizzie Borden house so many times now, and I've never heard those footsteps before or since that happened. And I to this day, I couldn't tell you what that was.
So we got 4 minutes until the top of the hour. Right. So let's get in one more place, and then we can let you go. Is there any place on there?
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite places that I've read about, the Bridgewater Triangle.
Oh my God, in 4 minutes. So
if you can cap it in 4 minutes.
So the Bridgewater Triangle is this region that was coined by Lauren Coleman back in 1980. It's this like 230 square mile Borden house, and you've got this unresolved stuff. You've got this this crime that was never solved. To me, I think the Bridgewater Triangle's underlying reason is that King Philip's War, that horrific battle that took so many lives that we don't talk about. It's like it's still demanding to be remembered. And of course, it's also a very heavily populated area between Providence and Boston. There's military bases not too far from there on Cape Cod and so on. A lot of sea traffic. It's got so much human activity. I guess it's no wonder that there would also be UFO activity as well. So it's kind of all there. How'd I do in like 4 minutes?
Awesome. You did great. And we still have a minute. So wow. You can share, please share your link, how people can find you. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us.
Yeah. Thank you for being such a wonderful guest. Everybody, we really enjoyed having you on, and so did everybody in chat.
Oh, thanks everybody in the chat room, and thank you, Kevin and Jennifer. Yeah, so I'm on Twitter and Facebook, and you can find me there. It's my website's jeffbelanger.com, and my podcast, New England Legends, that's free on wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, whatever you listen to. And I basically tell a new story every single week. So we do it every Thursday at noon, and we've been doing it for 76 weeks in a row. But who's counting? So, yeah, but anyway, and thank you for everyone that's been supporting me, for reading my books or watching Ghost Adventures or whatever it is. I really do appreciate it. I'm blessed to be able to do this.
All righty. Jeff Belanger, everyone. And
with that, it is time for our next commercial break. You are listening to Paraversal Universe Radio, and we will be right back.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting. The best in paranormal talk radio.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Son of a...
Hey, son.
Mother...
Son? What are you doing?
Hey, Mom. I'm getting ready to listen to Periscope Uncensored.
By expanding your vocabulary.
Well, it is uncensored.
Son, the uncensored part of Periscope Uncensored is Jax and I getting down to brass tacks with all aspects of the paranormal. There's no fluff on our show.
So, no off-color commentary?
I didn't say that.
Awesome!
Son?
I just hit my head.
Oh boy, I'll go get you an ice pack. Catch Periscope Uncensored Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 23 minutes after the hour.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back from our commercial break. This is Paraversal Universe on WBHM Digital Broadcasting in Birmingham, Alabama. Also heard on WCET-FM and the Rift Radio Network. We're your hosts, Kevin and Jennifer Malik. And we were just speaking with paralogian Jeff Belanger. Before we continue with the show, and by the way, Jeff has left the show. He had to leave. So, but before we get back to the show, let's take a quick moment and mention our AM/FM affiliates on terrestrial radio, through and including WCET 101.7 FM, which is Columbia, South Carolina, Columbia Talk, High Point Radio 100.5 FM and 1620 AM out of New Jersey, which broadcasts in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, and KOY 1230 AM in Phoenix, Arizona. So hello to all of those terrestrial WCET FM affiliate stations. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending your time with us here at Paraversal Universe. This segment is brought to you by the Parasociology page on Facebook. Parasociology is the study of how paranormal manifestations and experiences can affect a family group or collective. Parasociology also examines how spirituality is practiced in different cultures. So check that out and leave a like for future content. All right. So we're back with the show. We have about 35 minutes yet before the show is done. And so we're going to bring our producer, Kat Hobson, out with us now and introduce you to her. And what we're going to do is read a couple articles. Kat, you there?
I am there. Hello.
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 So we have, first of all, it's really cool. Thank you so much for getting us back on and being our producer and all that. And for those who remember Paraversal Universe from the early days, We started on the same network that Kat got her start on.
True.
And yeah, and so we're basically, I guess you would call it, we're from the same, I don't know if you'd call it, not graduating class, but from the same class.
From the same class.
Yes. So, yeah, so it's funny how things come full circle.
And kind of fun.
Yeah. So the first article we have you can find these in Supernatural Magazine. This one is called Alleviating Fear Through Knowledge. There's no paranormal team, society, or organization that can claim to cure a haunting or paranormal activity every time it's investigated. In fact, there are quite a few paranormal reports which are investigated by paranormal teams, yet never get diagnosed properly or resolved in a way which provides relief for the individual or family unit. This can be caused by anything from ignorance to a simple lack of investigative resources, as well as a host of other factors. In many cases, it's not intentional. In some cases, the goals are for a particular investigation team are not to treat the issue, but only to identify and document it, which in itself is not inherently evil. What is to be done with the evidence can become a moral issue, because in those cases, people are sometimes more interested in garnering evidence for paranormal collection of paranormal documentation than they are in actually helping the family cope or deal with the present activity, should it be properly investigated, by using the paranormal proof to find credible closers to deal with the activity instead of displaying it all over social media. Whether or not the issue can be resolved through spiritual intervention of some type, one goal is to address the fear factor whenever present. Humans fear what they don't understand. The more information one can receive about what may be transpiring, the less uncertain they feel about the situation at hand. Then, in turn, they are better able to deal with the paranormal activity if or when it arises. We have had cases where we've been able to see this transpire over time. We have clients who still may experience paranormal activity from time to time, yet their attitude and demeanor has changed from one of fear and anxiety to one of, say, how a parent may treat a kid, for example, which is to say without fear. As we work through them, the various stages of the investigation through to the end, we answered as many questions as we asked, which was quite a bit many. Not only do we answer questions, but we provide information sources they can access, as well as a general emotional support for whatever it is in which they are experiencing. Do not underestimate this as an effective strengthening tool for the client's emotional state, which, by the way, resonates through the entire family. And there's also a psychological, metaphysical, and theological based meditations that one can employ to remain not only calm, but strong, while they're also enjoying protection from and a connection to one's God. Smudging and burning incense while saying greater good prayers or affirmations is another way for a client to take a positive approach while feeling truly effective, while being truly effective. Praying, meditating, and smudging all incense increases all vibrational frequencies. Higher vibrational frequencies are positive, and lower vibrational frequencies are negative. Don't be afraid to educate the client on what you are doing and why, be it a psychological, metaphysical, historical, theological, or scientific principles which are applying during the course of the investigation. Again, usually the more they know, the better off they are. There are always exceptions to any rule, but those are usually few and far between. Exceptions like what? Remember the golden rule of paranormal investigating. The team or group must never make a situation worse in any way. So if you come across something that could scare the heck out of you, or I should say scare the heck out of your client, for example, make sure the group discusses the best way to relay the information to the client so that you're not just dropping bombs on your client without considering the ramifications first. Establishing a relationship with a psychologist or psychotherapist who can address